What is going on, guys, and welcome to my channel. I am the BA Tutor, and if you are interested in learning about the world of business analysts, which clearly seems like you are, just clicked on the video, make sure to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. Today, as you can tell, we are talking about the top 3 business analyst skills that every BA must have. Okay, these are the must for every single BA. I don't care what type of BA you are. I don't care what company. I don't care about any of that. You must have these 3 skills. Okay, so we're going to talk about these 3, and I'm going to go in order from 3 to 2 to 1. Okay, and then we're going to go and discuss each and every skill. Before I get into that, again, if you are interested also in getting some BA training, I have got courses. You can check out the links in the description below. There's so much content I have for you guys with the training. We're talking about high-level training for beginners, literally that just want to learn about, how you can become a business analyst. And then I've got a comprehensive step-by-step guide, which will literally walk you through, all the steps needed to become a business analyst. So very high level and a detail level training, both available for you guys in the description down below. So make sure to go and check it out. With that being said, so like I said, we're going to start with 3 and then work our way up to 1. Okay, so number 3, I'll start with 3 down here and then we'll work our way to 1, is going to be critical thinking skill. Okay, and I can also even do problem solving. Okay, so this is an essential skill that every business analyst must have. Okay, what does this mean? Critical thinking, problem solving. Well, this is basically, exactly what it sounds like, right? You are good at thinking of solutions, thinking of ways to resolve things, solving problems, because at the end of the day, okay, what exactly is the purpose of a business analyst? It's to write requirements, right? But why are you writing those requirements? You're writing those requirements to solve a problem, okay? Which is the problem that business is trying to solve for. Now, technically, you are writing the requirements so that you can hand it off to the developers, the coders, and so that they know what to code, right? But on a larger, higher level, it is to solve the problem that the business is having. And so you must know how to do critical thinking. You must know how to do problem solving. And a big key here is not just with writing requirements, but when you are doing requirements gathering, because when you're doing requirements gathering and you're talking to the business stakeholders and they give you the requirements, you as a business analyst need to go and challenge those requirements and make sure, okay, do we really need this requirement, or is it already being met by something else? Is this requirement missing something? Is this requirement need to have something added to it? So all of those things are part of the critical thinking skill you need as a BA, because it's not just good enough for the stakeholder to come and just give you requirements. It's your job as the BA to go ahead and review every requirement, make sure that they all make sense first and foremost, and make sure that they're not missing anything, make sure that you don't need to add anything else to it, and make sure if those are really even needed or not. So ask the necessary questions to the stakeholders. So again, this is very, very key here. You need to be good at critical thinking and problem solving as a business analyst. Okay, so that is number 3. Okay, let's move on to number 2, a must for every BA, which is communication. Okay, so communication is very, very important. Okay, very important. I almost put it at number 1, but you will see what I have at number 1. But point is, I wouldn't argue if you wanted to make it number 1, because that's how important communication is. At the end of the day, folks, a BA is a liaison that communicates between 2 parties. I mean, let's be honest here, okay? You essentially have your, stakeholders, and you've got your developers, right? And then you've got the BA in the middle who talks to the stakeholder and then gets that information and then talks to the developer. And that is that communication you need to be able to go ahead and talk to the business side, but also the technical side. And this is just a fraction of, the folks that you would have to interact with. You've got QAs, you've got architects, you've got project managers, you've got project sponsors, you've got executives, so many different people that you interact with as a business analyst, and you need to be able to communicate with them, okay? You need to, because if you don't, then that is how requirements get lost, requirements get missed, requirements get, removed. Like, that is how mishaps and problems happen, right? You don't communicate properly with a stakeholder and a requirement gets missed. You don't communicate properly with a project manager and something else gets missed. So as a business analyst, you are talking with all of these different entities and you need to know how to communicate. So a perfect example, take a developer for instance, okay? If I'm a developer, for the most part, I really don't need to have great communication skills, because at the core of you as a developer and a coder, you are getting some instructions, requirements, and you are being told what to code. Now, you could have questions for, the BA and on what the requirements are, or like what certain requirements mean. But for the most part, you don't really need to talk or communicate with anybody. If anything, they'll come and talk to you, right? Because they'll have questions for you. But for the most part, you're not doing the reaching out as a developer. That's the BA. And that's why communication is so important. You're reaching out to the business stakeholder to set up meetings, to do requirements gathering. You are reaching out to the developer to say, hey, my requirements are done, I'm handing them off to you. You are reaching out to the project manager to set up meetings. You are reaching out to so many folks, and that is why communication is critical. Very, very, very important skill, okay? And finally, number one, first and foremost, documentation. I mean, again, it seems obvious, right? But that's what a BA does, because people always ask me this all the time, what does a business analyst do? Well, a BA does a lot of things, right? They do so many things. We do requirements gathering, we talk to stakeholders, we talk to, developers, we do a lot of things, critical thinking, problem solving. But at the end of the day, what is the main thing you do? Just like how a developer codes, a business analyst writes requirements, okay? What the format is, that's obviously going to be up to the methodology, agile waterfall, etc., project dependent, whatever it may be. But in terms of what skill you need, documentation, okay? So if you're looking to become a business analyst, you need to know how to document properly. You need to know how to write requirements, okay? And essentially, I should write that here, because that is essentially what I mean by documentation. Write requirements, right? Because this is essentially the main goal as a BA, and this could come up in your interview, right? In your interview, they could ask you, hey, we want you to write requirements. We've got a list of requirements here, and we want you to come up with a document, whether that's a BRD, a business requirements document, whether they want you to do a user story. You need to know how to do those things, okay? So this is the essential part of what a BA does. So again, back to the developer example, if you don't know how to code, I mean, you're not really going to become a developer, or you're not going to certainly be a good one, because you're missing the most critical component. So as much as these are all important and very, very key to becoming a good BA, you can't even become a BA unless you know how to do documentation and writing requirements and knowing what methodologies use which requirements. Again, all of that information for training purposes in my course, so you guys can go check those out. The point being is, these are the three most critical skills that a business analyst needs to have. So hopefully that helps and clears it up for you guys. If you guys agree, and I should say if you guys agree, if you guys like the video, make sure to go ahead and subscribe. As always, thanks for watching.